Hi, I'm Anna.
Can't do it that way. I don't know how to do that. Okay, let's go. I was just giving it a little break. Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out.
Hello. Welcome to the Curious Crafters. This is episode 27 and it is May
27.
Oh,
I know.
how did I not get that in my brain?
I
It's
know.
matchy.
I know. And as we all know, 27, perfect cube, 3 times 3 times 3.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah.
Happy 27. Oh, we're in my backyard. Carolyn's house is filled with fun action.
Yep. Son's family is visiting and lots of little kids. Well, they're nap time now, but would not have been good. Yeah. Okay, so in this episode, we are going to talk about what we're wearing, of course. We have finished objects, we have whips. We're going to give you an update on both WIPGO, where we are on that. And then also, if you remember our Stitch It and Ditch It from last summer, we have a couple more updates from that, and we'll end with our thumbs up.
Are we going to do another Stitch It and Ditch It?
I want to do. I totally want to do another one. I think you said as soon as we resolve all of our Stitch It or Ditch It's, then we should do a new one.
I don't know. That might
have
hold
one
me
left.
up too much.
Okay, we might have to just like ditch that idea and go on to the next one.
I kind of want to open a drawer and just see what's in there.
Yeah, okay, but I would
Something like
totally
that.
be up for another Stitch It or Ditch It.
Okay,
And maybe when you're out of school, like I think last year we did it in July or something. Oh, it was right before we went on a trip. So let's maybe in July do
Okay.
another one. And,
Okay.
Great, good.
Planning here on FlossTube.
All right, so as always, thank you for your comments and hearing from you. We got a lot of fun things this time. A lot of people were weighing in about my crow number 5 and the colors of the circles, and many of you said things like you liked the orange I was using, but you also like the idea of varying it and keeping the multiple colors. So I'm going to totally do that. I might try to integrate one more orange. And another viewer said something I thought was really good, that she said if it's too much of an orange, it's going to read Halloween.
I was just about to say that.
And I hadn't thought about that, because I do want that to be like an all-year piece. And right now it doesn't read Halloween, but I could see if it was a brighter orange. So I think I might throw in one more orange and then just kind of mix and match those. So
Good.
yeah, really fun.
Is it one of the whips you're showing today?
Nope, I haven't done anything on it since then. No.
We'll have to wait.
I know I got really sidetracked the last 2 weeks with the beluga whale.
More about that.
More about that. I had started that in the last episode, and just getting ready for our house guests that we have. Right, it was good.
It's been a lot of very happy family time in our lives. And we actually have some champagne today because
We have a toast.
it has happened. She is here. Baby C arrived and
So why don't you give a little context who Baby C is?
I will. She is my son and my daughter-in-law's little one. She is the 7th in her generation, all of whom are girls. And everybody is home and doing well, tired and figuring everything out. And it's just been such a joyous
Great.
week.
And she's local there, so Anna's been able to go up there.
I saw her this morning, brought up some pancakes and snuggled with Baby C.
All right. Welcome to
All
the
right.
world, Baby C.
Welcome, Baby C.
Congratulations, S&J. I know. So, for those that don't know, we are 2 of 5 sisters, and we had no brothers growing up, so 5 sisters. So it's super fun right now that our Gen 4, it's 7 girls, and the oldest just turned 3 about a week ago.
So 7, 3 and under.
3 and under.
Can you just imagine them when they're all running around?
I can. Yeah. We've had 4 because the family is visiting from New York and then our local family. So we've had 4 of them over at our house the last few nights together. Whew,
Some squealing.
So much fun. So much fun. So much fun. Okay, great. Anna, what are you wearing?
I am wearing a t-shirt made the Alabama Chanin style. So it's a making brand. And I made this t-shirt with my students. So we had a little class together where we each made a t-shirt all by hand. We didn't use a sewing machine at all. And there are 2 layers of jersey, some of which of this top layer gets cut away, which is revealing the purple underneath the brown. And before that, there was some silver metallic stencil. Is it silver? Sort of maybe
like
goldish.
A gold. Mm-hmm. Like a rose gold, maybe.
Right. So, and then there's some hand stitching, of course, for the seams to keep the shirt together, but around these leaves as well. So
I show your collar, Anna. But
this was part of Stitch It or Ditch It.
I was going to say, was this part of Stitch It or Ditch
So
It?
I stitched it. It's going to be too hard to see. Maybe on the catwalk. There's a little herringbone stitch here. Jersey doesn't unravel, which I didn't really fully take in until I started sewing with jersey. So I did put a little hem on here, but I think at the bottom of the bottom of the shirt I didn't put a hem at all, and there's just sort of like a little roll of both colors.
It's funny because I think you were stuck the Stitch It or Ditch It because you felt like it was a little form-fitting.
Yes.
But now it's great to hear that you wear, because it looks great on you, but it's fun to kind of hear that you wear it a lot.
Right, and I think sometimes you need your community to say, sure, maybe that's a little tighter than you usually wear, but it's totally you can
rock it. Right.
And I think I just needed a little bit of encouragement that way.
Did you wear this specifically knowing that we were going to talk a little bit more about Stitch It or Ditch It?
No.
Quinky dink.
I woke up this morning, I'm like, I just don't even know if I'm going to be able to do the catwalk because all I can think about is baby C. In such a good way. Like, you'll see how much stitching I've done. Like this much, it's been all about the baby.
That low?
Which is great.
I think that's an appropriate priority.
But then I opened my drawer this morning and I'm like, oh, I could wear that shirt. It was sitting there waiting for me.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
What are you wearing?
Good. This is the second time around. I think from now on, I think almost everything we wear
probably
will be second time around. This is called Tilli, and it's designed by This Bird's Knits, and it's a yoke style, just linen top, and it's really just a layering piece. And as we talked about in the last video, Northern California is all about layering. And let me see the details. The yarn is Sparrow by Quince & Co. And I remember this yarn, this is the 3rd thing I knit with it. I knit something that wasn't quite right. I knit something else that wasn't quite right. And this one, I just cast it on as a lark, and it was like perfect. And linen, it's like knit pretty open and it stretches. So every time I wash it, I just put it in the washer in the dryer and it kind of like shrinks it back up. And then the linen, as you wear it, it grows back out. So I really have enjoyed this top. It works really well.
I like it.
And layered. You'll see I'm all layered up when we do with the catwalk as well. Welcome to the world, baby C. So, okay, fully finished objects. Yeah,
let's see them, Carolyn.
All right, so both of my fully finished objects have been gifted. So we're gonna have to do some with pictures. So my first fully finished object was my 4th granddaughter, call her baby A. She just turned 1 in the middle of March, and she had her baby blanket. I've been working on it for a while, and let me just insert a few pictures here. Here's just the full blanket, and it's a stitch pattern. I just got it out of Stitch Dictionary, and I used 2 yarns. They're both by La Bien Amie, and it's Merino DK. One is in Yellow Brick Road, which is the dyer's signature color, and the other is called Grello. And here is sort of a detail. I like to put an I-cord edging all around the blanket. It just gives this nice little sturdy feel to it. And then here's just another picture of it folded up.
And the whole time Carolyn's been making this, we've been saying, that yarn glows, that yarn glows. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And Baby A's mom really likes yellow. So that was that. So I felt really good. Each blanket took a little longer to get to the granddaughter, but I felt like I really wanted to get it to her by her 1st birthday, because this household, they don't put blankets in with the kids but once they're 1, I also make them a lovey, and so they're allowed to have a lovey, and she starts letting them have a blanket sometime. So it was great. I got it done. It was for her birthday, and she's been using it. It looks really cute.
Yeah, and for the stroller too.
And, great for the stroller. Right, and it's just machine wash and dry. So it's good to go. All right, so that's my first finished object. My second finished object was also a gift, and it was for M, who turned 3, and she's one that's visiting right now. I was working it last time, it was the Beluga whale. So I'm gonna pause right here, and I'm gonna insert a video because I sent it off to baby M. Baby M, she's not a baby anymore.
No, Tyler, preschooler.
She's just M. She's just M.
Okay, we're just gonna go.
So here, I'm gonna insert the video here. Hi, I'm coming to you from the past. I wanted to share with you a fully finished object I have before I mail it off to my granddaughter for her 3rd birthday. And this is the Beluga whale. Made it into a pillow. The pattern is by Awesome Pattern Studio. I got it on Etsy. I just Googled Beluga whale, cross stitch. Beluga, anything related to beluga whales was on her birthday list. I stitched it on 36 count XJU design peacock blue. And I used the called for DMC. I then just used a darker blue fabric, teal on the back. And I use Lady Dot Creates Motherload chenille. And to put the chenille on, this is the first time I put a trim on a pillow, and I watched Helen D's tutorial on chenille trims, and she shows you how to either sew it on or glue it on. And for this, I just decided to glue it on just to make sure it was more secure. And the pillow is stuffed with wool roving. And I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. And hopefully my granddaughter will love it and just sort of play with it. I don't want it to be a precious item. I'd love it. She could put it in her bed, throw it around, kind of treat it as a stuffed animal. So that's the Beluga whale. I don't quite remember what I said on the video, so this might be a little bit of a repeat, but I think I told you about the designer and the edging. Really, really happy with how it turned out, and it took so much longer than I thought.
A few commenters did say that. Like,
it was like that center, I mean, inside the whale was like no joke. If that had been one color, that would have been much. I think I was sort of in my brain thinking, oh, just fill in. I can do that. It's a small fill in, but it was still really fun. But everything else like was on hold. Certain things in my life, I'm like, oh, I was supposed to go over to my friend's house to do this like escape room. It was like a game escape room. And I'm like, we have to reschedule because I am in the weeds crafting. It was like the night before. I had to express mail it the next day, and then I have since gone and seen my friend.
Right.
And
she's friends understand these things.
No, she is not a crafter at all. And she's like, okay, I trust you. I'll see you next week. So it was really funny. Really fun. M's mom sent me this video because I also told him, I'm like, this is not precious at all. And her mom said, great, because she's been chucking it around the room.
Yeah, of course.
So she posted this video where M kind of first is lying on it like this, and she's just like, Ramsay, and then, but she picks it up and she's hurling it. So I'm guessing this was a little staged and the throwing was the actual.
It was the natural inclination.
So hopefully she'll enjoy that because it was really fun to stitch.
It turned out so beautifully. And all those combinations of colors is what, I mean, I've never stitched anything like that. It was really incredible. Yeah. And I could see why, I mean, is that what a lot of full coverage is like?
It must be, because a lot of it was like sort of confetti, like you'd put a few things here and then fill it in. So the back of it was like threads all over the place, but I'm like, I don't care, it's a pillow.
Right.
And I like that. That was the first time I put trim around the pillow in the chenille. And Helen D had excellent video tutorial. I know I mentioned that in the little clip I showed you. But she shows you either how to sew it or to glue it, and she kind of talks about pros and cons.
What did you pick?
I picked glue for sure. Yeah, and it was really, because I'm like, it's for like a toddler. Like, it's nothing special. Like, I don't care if there's glue on the piece.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say nothing special, but
you know what I mean. You know
what I mean. It's not like, well, that feels bad. It's going to get played with.
One funny thing on the back of it is, and I showed you in the video, is this darker teal that looked really good. And I had gone to a quilt store and taken that, picked the fabric, and when I came home, I had that fabric already in my stack. So I had picked it for like a Christmas finish or something, or another finish, and I'm cracking up. I'm like, I just must really be drawn to that color, and sort of it just was very neutral pattern on it.
So of all the fabrics in a quilt
I know.
store,
It was funny.
That is funny.
Anyway, those were my two finishes, and that beluga whale kept me really busy. That was really fun.
Congratulations for finishing it, really.
Thank you.
There's something great about having it done for the actual birthday.
I know. I have to kind of remind myself, though, like when you're making something for gifts, give yourself either a little more lead time. Although it was just like one of those spur of the moment things. Like, I don't care. Actually, it was fine when I did. I don't care if I was a little in the weeds, but still fun.
You did it.
I do it. Yeah. Let's do works in progress.
Work in progress. All right, I'm going to show my garden dogs, which I keep in this project bag. Ginkgo leaves. Carolyn made this. And this is, last time I was calling it for the upcoming granddaughter, and now we know. ABC. So Garden Dogs by Carriage House Samplings. It's an older chart, and it's always caught my eye. And here's where I am with it. It's been great because I've only been stitching maybe 5 threads an evening, and so maybe I can do a flower, part of a dog. It's been just the right sort of size thing to do.
You made such good progress, and I know people always say this. In person, like once it's stitched, it's nice on the picture. It's so cute in person.
Yes. I mean, I don't know when I haven't thought that. And we'll put a little progress shot up where I was last time. And a couple of things. I mean, there's a lot of brown in this, but I'm really liking, put this on Instagram, there's little bits of salmon in it. I'm really enjoying that. And for the first time, a lot of times I've been stitching this upside down. I've been finding these stems and flowers a little easier to stitch upside down. So I've been playing with that a little bit.
It's kind of like where your starting point is, because you're probably taking it off, and then once you have your stems, you're building it down from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what else you have. So how are you going to personalize it?
Yeah, so let me hold this up. So I wasn't sure I didn't know her name before she was born. And so I think her name is only going to take part of this space. So I think I'm going to put her first name and then the month and the day and then the year. But I'm not sure. It's like, I don't think I can, well, I probably could if I did some over one to put her full name and her full birth date. But right now I'm leaning towards her first name and her full date. Any opinions about that?
Let me see the space.
And while you're looking at that,
you know, I think you might be able to do her first and last name across here, because those letters are big. If you
choose a different font,
use a different font. I think you could fit it right across there. What you would do with this little space down here,
well, I could put her birth
month, or just, you could even put another little flower or something down there, or a little star.
Or take away the flower or the dog. One thing I like about it is there's 7 dogs on that, and she's the 7th in her generation.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe I don't want to take off the dog.
Yeah.
I'm stitching these in MPIs, and I've been using these little wax envelopes and labeling their.
How's that been for you?
I've been loving it.
So
they're kind of loud.
Will you take one out of the bag? Because I just want to see, have you cut the strands like you would on a floss?
Yeah, so what I do is I cut them and then I put the cut ones through the tube.
Oh.
Oopsie. And then I keep one out that I pull from.
Okay, and then that's what you do.
my next one.
Yeah,
that's working great for me.
I always wonder what people are doing in the bags, whether they've cut their skein or if they're just kind of pulling from their skein as they go. You know, people always apologize for crinkling bags. I kind of like that sound. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, but this is wax paper. This is a different sound to me. You don't mind this? I'm fine. I wasn't even thinking about this video. Sorry if it does bother you. I'm thinking about when I'm actually stitching and I'm going through and finding my next color.
Does it bother you?
Well, I wonder if it bothers the other person in the room.
I don't know, something about that sound.
It hasn't said anything. Okay,
same thing like when people like unzip and zip things. I kind of like that.
I love the sound of a zipper. In fact, let's just,
Can you zip it up?
Cute.
Yeah, love it. Okay. So what I've been working a lot on, Susana Kriebel, 1841, and this was a reproduction of a sampler from the Schweikfelder Museum and Library in Pennsylvania. And this is the original, and here was the reproduction, and it was her great-great-granddaughter who did the reproduction of this. And this is part of my WIPGO for May, and we'll talk about WIPGO a little bit more, but it was to start and work 10 days on a new project. So this is the one I started, and I've been making good progress on that. So actually, let me first show you. And the person that did let me just give you her name. What's her name? Laura Heebner, and she charted it for DMC. But since the original sampler was done in silk, I took the DMCs and converted them to MPI silks that I have on here.
I'm seeing your your jewelry. I've had my eye on that very same one.
Okay.
In fact, I'm really interested in that chart.
This is Socks for Mom. She does, and I didn't realize she had a different Instagram for her bling until recently, so we're now following that on Curious Crafters. And I just got two. I got this one, and there was one that she had for Frederick, and that's one of the pieces I'm working on. And my 3-year-old granddaughter, the package came a couple days ago, and she opened it, and she's like, "Oh, what are these?" And then she was helping me pack my stuff to come over, and she's like, "Oh, that was the one for that." That's what you do with a 3-year-old. She would look at the threads, and then we'd find a color, and then we'd find it on the stitching, and then find the color. But she liked them, so.
It's a matching game.
I'm going to show you this, and then I have some thoughts I'm going to share. Okay, so first, here is where I was last time, and here's where I am now.
Mind the champagne.
Yeah, there's some of them, and they're ghosting out on the original as well. I have her date in right here, 1841, and then her name is going to come through here. But I am saving her name until the end because she stitched every letter with like 3 colors. It is and she was 16 when she made this, but I feel like I just got that gives you a flavor for personality where she's like, I'm blinging myself up.
It's a good lesson for us to make sure we're expressing ourselves in our stitching because we appreciate it so much when you see that little something, something silly, something unique.
And so I love that so much. I'm like, I'm saving that to the end and like using that as the end.
Great.
Now here's one thing I have, and that is I'm feeling my colors are a little flat. And I've been thinking, why are they a little flat? And here are some ideas, and I'd love for you all to be like, yeah, Carolyn, they are a little bit flat. Why? Okay, here's one thing. The primary colors that get used a lot, this orange, this taupe, this blue, and this green. Those get used a lot. And I feel like they're all the same value. So you're not getting a lot of depth of color from that.
I agree. I think the black is saving this.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's that or if I don't know if my linen was not a good choice.
Oh.
So I don't know if it would have looked better, but I still like it on this linen, but and then at the same time you're like, well, it's a reproduction sampler and these were the colors that were picked. I haven't, I've seen the original and a lot of it's faded, so it's hard to know, but I don't look at this and go like, oh, those colors. Although I do like them on the ring.
Why don't you try one of the motifs on one of the other linens you were considering? Just as an experiment.
Just as an experiment to see.
Or maybe I could do that if you want me to.
Yeah.
Because I have the chart too.
I mean, I'm going to totally keep going on this.
I'm just curious. Is it linen or is it too much of the same
because
value?
let me just pull out the ones that get used a lot.
I mean, is there going to be any more black or dark brown down here?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of black.
Okay, because I think this section looks less, this section looks less flat to me than this section because of the black.
So here,
maybe it's going to resolve.
You can see, here are the colors. And those really are pretty close to really similar values. And I do think we get a lot of depth by having lights, mediums, and darks. And then you know what I think it might be with my linen? My linen is also a similar medium value, even though they come off of it.
Yeah. And the thing is, I always think this natural linen, it's almost flax-like. It'll go with anything. It's not like it doesn't go, but we still really are learning about our
we're learning a lot, right? We are, and it's also sort of interesting with when it's a reproduction, like thinking about the color choices. But so it's just something I'm thinking about and something I'm noticing, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that as well. I'm not going to change the colors because I do want to kind of keep it to the reproduction. I did kind of tweak a few of them just a little bit to so that they wouldn't ghost out quite as much. The one I let stay ghost is this very light blue.
I like the way that looks.
This yellow was a much paler yellow, but again, that could have been my linen choice for ghosting out. So this is Susana Kriebel. I'm going to keep going on it.
You're making good progress.
And another thing that we had a lot of good comments about was my talking about linen and wanting to keep like the hand of linen.
Oh yes.
So this piece too, I've decided to finish it. I'm going to hem stitch it and then find a way to hang it more like a wall hanging instead of having it framed. So I figured that would be a good time to experiment with that as well. So that's Susana Kriebel, 1841. And still totally geeking out on the Pennsylvania Dutch. So that's,
I think for the rest of our lives,
we'll geek out on it.
It's a keeper category.
Here's a needle. Where'd that come out of? It come out of here. And it's also fun, like watching the alphabet or looking at the motifs. And now that I know, as we're talking about this, know more about the motifs. And these alphabets up at the top, I might have talked about this before. It's the same letters as these are down here, smaller alphabet that's going to come in down here, but each stitch is a block of 4 stitches. So I thought that was a really neat way that they enlarged the alphabet. The font was still the same, it's just how did you enlarge it?
Right.
Like a square is 4 stitches versus just being 1 stitch.
Thinking about similar figures and perimeter.
I know that similar figures and proportionality of all the things to learn in math class. Proportionality is probably the most important life skill, I believe.
We're working hard on it at school.
Yeah.
All right, our next whip is our fruits of plenty.
Yeah, good.
Which we're working on side by side and taking turns giving each other assignments.
Yeah.
And I keep mine in this project bag.
And I keep mine in my beautiful Stacy. Okay, Anna.
Here's the chart. And we were working on, oops, got a little wind, this vine area and down to the squirrel. You want to show yours?
Yeah. Anna, I loved the smaller assignment.
You did?
I loved it. It was especially with how busy I've been, so I completely finished that. And I also hadn't quite finished the squirrel over here. And I did a little bit of that bottom box down there. So got all that done in there.
Oh yeah, and with both your squirrels.
I hadn't finished the tail.
It looks really good.
I was really happy with it. So that was great. I liked that smaller because if I had extra time, I did just a little bit more, but I felt like I got to the completion. Okay, how about you?
All right, so I think I can't help but make school analogies. I'd be getting some partial credit for my last couple assignments. I was so determined to do the squirrel. So I did some vine, and I sort of brought it down so I could figure out where the squirrel went, and I did the squirrel. So I just have this little viney section. But this was a previous assignment and finishing these concentric octagons.
So I was going to give us a new assignment because we said let's keep moving forward, but I'm wondering if the assignment should be to catch up on some of our past assignments. Should we do that, or should we do another small one and also try to catch up?
I'm up for either, says the teacher who's almost in her summer.
Okay.
But it won't be, the next 2 weeks will not be that yet.
So I am going to give us our next assignment and let's just see where we get there. So Anna, it might be, I didn't realize that you didn't have the other squirrel in.
That's okay. I'm willing to play some catch up in the summer. So
okay. So our next assignment was. Let me get a little closer. Oh yeah, that's good. Thank you, Anna. There are these 2 hearts right here.
Yes.
On the sides. So I was going to bring us down to those hearts. Okay. But I hadn't realized that you hadn't done this piece. So why don't you at least come down to the heart of the smaller squirrel?
Right.
But if you can start working down to the heart with this.
Okay.
All right. And then the other part of the assignment is Jacob gives us a variety of different houses to put in the center here. So we're going to pick our house. Oh, hello. I was like talking way up there. Okay. So we're going to pick our house.
I've thought a little bit about that here and there, but I'm not sure. I have to look at all the choices again. If I still have them. Well, that's solvable.
You do, because they're in your PDF, or I have them. They're all different pages, and we'll have to kind of like quickly flash the chart because I don't think he gave us pictures of them. I think they're just the charts. We'll do something good. Okay. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Great. This piece, I continue. I don't know why it's hard for me to get started, but once I'm stitching it, I'm really happy. But there's something. I have some sort of a little bit of a block, so I think having the small assignment was good because I'm like, just get started on it.
Okay. But haven't you said it's a little bit harder to stitch?
I think it's a little bit harder.
So it takes a little bit more effort, maybe a little less relaxing or something, or at least in your mind.
Yeah.
You're thinking that.
That's what I think. I have to change my prediction feedback loop in my brain to be like, Carolyn, it's not that hard. But the linen is also definitely getting like limpier maybe, or looser, maybe just as more, I don't know. Anyway, I'm so happy and I'm completely motivated to finish it. And even if we go bit by bit, slow by slow, I do want to finish it.
Yes.
Good. All right, there's our new assignment.
I like the light stitching on the dark fabric. I wonder if I'll always have something like that going. I don't know. All right. Okay. Quilt for the baby. So you should see my living room floor. Lots of quilt blocks. I showed a top portion of the quilt last time, and then I'm just doing the next portion, which is actually the largest portion in the quilt. They're going to be 6 parts, and this one is super, super neutral. So the blocks are going to look like this. It's going to be 4 by 4. So this is just 2, and I'm hoping that the eye is going to be able to transition from the much pinker purpley blocks that I had done previously to this. We'll see.
Have you put them next to each other?
I have put them next to each other, and I want some more pink, which is coming below this, so I feel like I can't quite tell yet. And I have been looking up in quilt block dictionaries trying to figure out, let me just put one block up, what the name of this quilt block is. We have an heirloom quilt from our mother's side of the family that has this block, and I'm replicating that in different colors. I cannot find the name of this block. Okay. So if anyone knows, I thought maybe it was related to the basket or something.
I didn't know. It kind of looks like a butter churn.
Oh.
I don't know.
So I've done,
Susan Stanley, if you're watching, this is right in your wheelhouse. Do you know the name of this quilt block?
Right. My next step will maybe go to the library and try to find some books, but there's a lot of nice libraries online that I've just...
Why don't you also post it on Instagram and put that query? Does anybody know the name of this block? Because I think it's a good crowdsourcing. And put some good hashtags on there so people that don't follow us, like quilts or quilts.
Okay.
What's this quilt block?
I'm curious.
Maybe we should offer like a little prize. If you know the name of the quilt block, do you want to offer a little prize? We may or may not. We may or may not offer a little prize.
I always hesitate because I have a hard time with like first come, first serve kinds of feels of things.
I think we could.
So
maybe everybody gets a little piece of Sue's candy or something. Okay, you don't know. You do it out of the goodness of your heart, and you never know what's going to happen from that. Good things happen. Okay, my next one is Honey Fair, and I'm doing this as part of the SAL, and it's hashtag Honey Fair SAL. And here's the pattern. Many people have already finished it. It started May 1st. I'm having so much fun with it. I did my own color conversion using a Veriswa 103s and Gobelins that I had in my stash, plus a few more additions. And this one I kind of looked what was on the chart, but I also just kind of went with things I liked. And I'm stitching.
That is a beautiful lineup of
I
colors.
love this. Oh, okay. My granddaughter today, she was so interested in this, and I have it in this little drawer. This is what got us started. I'm like, totally open it if you want. She opened it, and like, you can hold them, like. And so that's when we were looking at the colors and then looking at them on the cross stitch. That got us started on the whole thing. And here it is. I am stitching this. Oh, the designer for this pattern is October House Fiber Arts, and I'm stitching it on 36 count dark cobblestone it's this Weigart linen, and it's also stitching her mushroom piece on this. And then I'm stitching 1/2.
I like that greeny one motif in the corner.
Me too. And I'm all this right here will be the B-skep. I didn't even know B-skep was a word until everybody's talking about it. I'm like, what's this thing, a B-skep? And I guess it's this. Like, do bees make that naturally? Like, have you ever seen one of these? Is it an alternative to a beehive? Like, I gotta figure that out. So I was going to be a little intimidated by all of that patterning in there. Not intimidated, it's not the right word, but I'm like, wow, that's gonna be a lot. After that beluga whale, nothing.
Oh, I see what you mean. We have to look up what a B-skep is. I'm sure some of our comments. But I always thought it was something made to attract her house.
Okay, kind of like
I have no idea.
Okay, because I think of those bee boxes that you see all over the place.
Right.
So maybe a B-skep was an earlier version of that.
I wish I had my phone. I could look it up.
Yeah. So I'm happy with how this looks. It gives a really different look on the linen. And I feel like everything's showing up nicely. really enjoying it. So this one too, I'm just doing a little bit, slowly but surely. I want to finish it in May. And I still haven't posted on Instagram because I got to get it on for the Sal too. So
oh yeah, that could be one of our
so you
next
can share
posts.
it. Okay.
That can be one of our next posts.
All right, so I think that's, oh no, I have one more. Okay, so in preparation for my son's family coming to visit, and just because I'm on sabbatical, I've given my house a really good spring cleaning. California houses are not huge. If you live in California, you know what I mean. So I think
you usually don't have an attic or a garage.
you don't. We have a garage. We have a garage. You don't have a basement. You don't have an attic. So you use your garage actually as some extra storage. I have not gotten to our garage yet, but every room I think I pretty much emptied and organized, like not totally empty, but like emptied closets, reorganized them from
sort of faced what's in there.
Yeah, and just because I wanted to have the family. We have 3 bedrooms. I wanted to make sure those 2 bedrooms were completely ready for the family. I went through our kitchen cabinets. I mean, I really did a good spring cleaning. So a lot of things that have come up were what I found from that.
Something's blowing away.
Okay, go get it. So one of the things is I keep my extra yarn in. We have built-in dressers in our closets. They're really janky, but they've just been there since the house was built in the 50s. And in one of them, I'm showing a picture of the drawer right now, especially since Anna's not here. And it is all of my leftover fingering yarn. And you can see it's beautiful. And there's so much, and it's so fun because I've used all that yarn for projects, and those are my leftover bits and bobs. But I've had this drawer full of this color for years. So I'm like, you got to do something with it. And I don't want to throw it away. I'm not ready to give it away. So I'm like, you have to pick a project that uses the scraps and start working on it.
I love it when you share your self-talk. You have to pick a project, Carolyn.
You have to pick a project. So I saw this speckled square crochet blanket, and the designer is Jackie Hodson. And I like this blanket because you can add to it in all directions, and you're combining your squares as you go, so there's no sewing afterwards. And I'm also weaving my ends in as I go along. So I just
so like you can do a square and then choose on what side of that square you add your next square,
and
then
yeah.
So you could add something in the middle right now.
Well,
or not like
you. I mean, you have to add it literally, but I can move it up this direction. I can move it over more this direction. You can do it in an order. So I've just been grabbing scraps and just doing little squares along the way with all my scraps. Yeah, so feel it. It feels really good. I also like crochet. Crochet is a different rhythm from anything else, and I find I get myself in this rhythm doing the crochet, and each little square is like its own little start and finish.
And each little square is actually 2 triangles, kind of?
It gets decreased. So when you're crocheting, you start by picking up along the sides, and then every time you get to this middle, you're doing a special kind of decrease that brings it in, so you have fewer and fewer crochets on each row as you go. So you can see I'm in the process here.
Oh.
So this one is the one I'm currently in the process of.
Okay, that helps me.
And you just keep going, making this, you're making this L shape with the vertex, shall we say, is where you're doing like a double to decrease it. So I'm really happy with this. Who knows how long it will take? And you know, you have some wild yarns in there, some solids. Some of them, like you make a square and you're like, I barely made a dent in what my leftover is. So we'll see. I'm enjoying this. And this is such a great project when you have visitors in your house, because I can pick it up, put it down, work on it. I don't care if the kids like get a hold of this. There's nothing sharp. I have my crochet hook. That's it.
Yes.
And I have so many of these little balls. Like this is the one I like that are like this size. So I can do a few squares out of that. So this is my speckled squares blanket, and I'm just going to kind of keep working on that in the background. Now, hashtag truth, self-truth. I get going on blankets and I stall. So I have to, you all keep me honest, and just, if you haven't seen it, be like, hey, where's that speckled squares blanket? Let's keep it going. So that's what I've been working on for that. Okay, those are our whips.
Okay, so we're going to do a little WIPGO update. So if you're not familiar with WIPGO, at the beginning of the year, you choose 25 projects and what you would like to do with those projects, and then 2 of those projects are picked each month.
Yeah.
And then how does the third, with the extra one?
Oh, she'll pick 3 that when it gets called. Okay. So you make, some people have them printed, you make like a bingo board And I guess you're also getting bingo as you go along. So I can record what is in each of my squares. And your center is a free. Most people just have it be nothing, but my free is go get an ice cream cone. You can come with me if you want.
Okay. Love to.
All right, so tell us about your May. How have you been doing on May?
So May was get going again on an heirloom sampler, which I'm still stalled on that.
Okay.
And do a little bit with organization. And we organized our patterns, and I've been labeling my bags with the numbers. That might be all I do. There was no particular. That's probably gonna.
I feel like the patterns was great.
Right.
That was a huge one.
Right.
And then I did a bunch of organizing too. So
right. What about what was your May?
My Mays were my new start that I work on for 10 days, which was my Susana Kriebel, and then it was Frederick. I don't have that here, but all I need to do is put the date on Frederick, and I haven't done that yet, but I will get that done before the end of the month. Okay, that's for mine too.
Yeah, we still have a couple days. So the new picks are number 16 and number 4. Should we show our numbers? Should I do mine, or should we do one at a time?
No, do yours.
Okay, so both of mine are samplers, and I felt this little rush of joy. Not quite the joy of when baby C was born, but like it was a rush of joy.
I'm glad to hear that.
No, I'm joking. So it was a little sign to me of like, I think I'm a sampler stitcher. I think that is my true love. I love lots of other things too, but my first one is Sarah Barnes. She's housed in this little bag from the container store.
See, I love the zippers on these. I like the feeling of zippers.
The Scarlet House, and this was part of the Kitten Stitcher sampler box. So I don't think it's been released widely yet. I'm not sure. And Belsois and Classic Color Work. Sorry, Gloriana and Classic Color Work Belsois silks. Not that many colors. And I'm actually...
And this was your New Year's Day start.
That's right.
Anna, this is spectacular.
Thanks. I love it.
Spectacular.
I think these colors.
You put it on your board.
Oh yeah. Thanks. I'm still doing my board.
Anna, there's
where my clips go. I don't know. Here we go. I'm pretty close actually. So my goal was to stitch on it 5 to 10 evenings. I'm like, I'm finishing.
You'll finish that. You'll finish that.
And I'm going to put this in the bottom of a glass box. It fits really beautifully. Just by coincidence. So,
and let's think about a little depth of color here. Notice like with greens, it's a dark green and a very light green. So you get a lot of depth.
True.
And that white looks great.
Yes, I'm really liking.
Yeah, so how much more do you have?
Yeah, let's pull the pattern out again. I tucked it away here.
That house, I love that house.
So I have sort of 2 flowers above the house. I need to finish that big basket, but I've done quite a bit of it. I need to add some white to this, and then I need to do some personalization right here. I mean, I think I can finish it, and I'm ready to finish it. Every time I look at it, I'm, oh, I love it.
This is winter. Everything about this, the design. Was this, you picked the linen, or was it called for linen?
Picked it, I think.
It's just looks so good.
Old Stationery. This is not Old Stationery. I can't remember what it is.
Stay tuned. Yeah, it looks so good.
My other pick was a Smith sampler, and every time Sarah Stitchy Spot holds her up, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get back to that. This was my Christmas start. I really have just started it. This is, and it's because it's my Christmas start. It's in one of my Christmas bags. My jingle bells talking to us. And will you hold that up and get this hooked up? But most people are probably familiar with this one.
Scarlet House Smith sampler.
And this is that fabric we picked at Acorns and Threads. And then
you're using the Vicki
Clayton
Clayton
silk pack. So again, I want to label these guys.
Shrekie's Tan by Needle Bling, 36 count.
So I haven't looked at this in a while, and I'll just be curious, how much progress can I make in 5 to 10 evenings? I say evenings, but yeah, this will be going into summer, so maybe I'll have even more time. So very, very excited about each of those.
I'm finding, as you said, you're a sampler stitcher. I think I love samplers too. What I don't care for in samplers is like the verses and lots of words. So I find like when I look at something like this is so appealing to me, or the Sarah Barnes that you just showed, because it's more about motifs and symmetry, and I love borders.
I have the
less about the verse.
Yes, I
the
feel
writing
very similarly. Although it was funny, I was just thinking this morning, it might be an interesting exercise for us. If we were going to write some words on a sampler, what would we pick? I usually go towards a couple of lines from a song or poetry when I think about that, but it might be interesting to share.
Okay, this is a good challenge. I actually have something in, because I thought like, okay, if I was going to replace words, what? And I actually have something that I would use. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to see it when it comes out.
So
I think part of it is biblical verses don't have a lot of direct meaning for me, so I think that I shy away from that a little bit. I know Emily of Eclectic Possessions, she often puts song lyrics in when she replaces things. I think too, I'm a visual person, so words in general don't have as much meaning for me as images have.
I think I do that when I look at a sampler. I'm like, just like you're saying, the color, the symmetry, the motifs, and then I get to the words and my eyes go like blah 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 blah. It's like wah, wah, wah. It's how they feel to my eye. Except that I don't feel that way about alphabets, because maybe my brain is not trying to put them, not trying to read them.
I think, or
they're
you're
more like a pattern,
or you're reading them as a pattern. And I think I like personalization. I like seeing initials and names, maybe because those also are more like a pattern. But that would be a good challenge for us, Anna, is to pick a sampler that we like that has like a verse on it, but change it into something. I read one.
Or maybe even come up with 3 possible things we might put on a sampler.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually, this is an area where I thought we wouldn't be as aligned as we are. I would think that I would like words on a sampler more than you.
Right.
But I feel very similarly to what you just said. Surprises me.
And it's also interesting reading more about the Pennsylvania German samplers where they don't really put words on there, and contrasting that seemed to be more from the English samplers. And then, so it's just kind of interesting to compare and contrast different cultures and what the different samplers were that were coming out of that.
Okay,
my
WIPGO. Hear about yours.
Okay, so my 23 was my new start and stitch. Oh, we've already talked about these, right? Okay.
Yeah,
June.
I jumped
Okay,
to that.
number 4 was sweater, and my goal is to knit a sweater.
Whoa, that's a
I
big
know.
one.
Okay, so I'm super excited about this, and I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to knit a summer sweater. So there's a particular sweater I love that's just, it's starting to see better days. It's a linen sweater. I'm still going to wear it, but like, especially when you look up in here in that sweater, the yarn is starting to fray. Or I have a couple of like fully kitted, more wintry sweaters. So I don't know if I just want to do one of those. So I'll have that when the fall comes. But I'm leaning a little bit more to doing a summer sweater, because if I'm going to knit the whole sweater in June,
Oh, that's
I'll
true.
have it. Because
I was thinking, oh, well, it might be beautiful to have something finished.
But I want to start and knit the whole thing in June. So I'm really,
I can't even believe that you can do that. That's a thing you can.
Oh, who knows?
do.
But that will also be good, because we have my son's family staying through July, until early July. They won't be with us the whole time, but they'll be in the area. So that would be a good thing to have. So stay tuned on that one. I'm really excited. And then my number 16 was my Reverend Gordon squash bottom. I didn't bring it here. So that's more of a fall stitch, but I'm all in. So I'm going to stitch 7 days on him. So I'll be really excited to pull him out and go. So WIPGO, I continue to love it. I love it. Because I think also I love everything on my board.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And I love the mix of different things on there.
I was just thinking, I love everything on my board. I'm still like having a hard time moving on a few of them. And I don't know if WIPGO is going to help me with that or not. I have more positive feelings than negative feelings about WIPGO by far. And it's also, I was thinking this week, I think it's helping me sort of feel the passage of time too. I like being sort of aware of, the same with our videos. Like 2 weeks have passed.
I like
What are you
having
making
my
of your weeks, Anna?
I like my WIPGO board. I like looking through it. I like recording on it.
I'm really attached to my piece of paper that we made on our little retreat.
Yeah, we did that on our New Year's Day retreat. So I really enjoyed it for that. I'll probably keep doing it. Maybe some of the ones you're stalled on, you'll bring to the Stitch It or Ditch It, our next one. All right, so Stitch It or Ditch It. I want to just give you an update, because I've actually made 2 decisions of these. So just as a recap, if you're interested, I'll put a link below to the Stitch It or Ditch It episode. It was from last summer. What Anna did and I did is we each picked 4 projects that we were stalled on, and we presented them, and then we did voting on Instagram whether we should stitch it, ditch it, or then we had some other variations on it, and it was really fun. And of my 4, 1 I stitched and I finished it, and then these were 2 more. So this first one had been a vest, and I'll put if I can find it, I'll put a photo of what the vest was right here. And I was just stalled. I had done the body, so we had decided that I was going to stitch it and make it into a pillow. And here I had finished it, but I have the full pillow ready to go.
I really like it, Carolyn.
And the thing that I love about this, I was like stalled because I didn't have a pillow form for it. When I was cleaning out one of our closets, we had these janky old pillows that the covers were ripped. It was from like when the boys were little. I took the cover off and I'm like,
no way.
It's the perfect size. It fit perfectly. And it's like a really nice like feather pillow, so it feels great. And I just put this, and since I've been crocheting, I just crocheted it finished. And so it's like totally done. I'm really, really happy with just feel that.
Yeah, I mean, it is a woolly wool.
So that was that one. And then another one.
So clever.
Yeah, really happy.
Like just a great resolution.
And another one was a gray cardigan, and we had decided I was going to stitch it and give it to Anna. But I found it in the closet, and I'm like,
nope,
I'm not going to. I ditched it. And ditching really just means breaking up. Anna had looked that up in the dictionary. And what I've done now is I've taken some of the leftover yarn from that sweater, and this is Magpie Fibers Swanky Sock, and I'm knitting some fingerless gloves. And these are the Auntie Klein by Emily Green.
Oh, I like their simplicity.
Well, our sister Joan knit a pair of these for Anna for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I loved the pattern. And our climate fingerless gloves are fabulous. So I've casted those on and have started with those. I'm just down at the cuff. So that's a new start.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I've taken that sweater's gone, and I've taken the yarn and started a new project with that. So the ditch it.
And if you have a little left, you can put in your blanket.
No, it's the right size yarn. I was thinking, I'm just gonna be honest, friends, and I think we have to do this sometime. I could have unraveled that sweater and kept the yarn. I composted it. I took the pins off, so it was just natural fiber. And here we have our bins for composting. Put in the compost. But so this was an extra skein that I hadn't started with that I used.
Yeah.
But you know what? You do that, and I felt great.
I think sometimes worrying about like what to do with something can really hold us back from making healthy choices.
Yeah.
Like getting stuff out of our lives that will make room for other things. And so you just make the best decision you can, no judgment.
And I thought it was going to be fun to make it for Anna, but when I pulled it out, I'm like, I'm not going to. This is a knitting bag, and it's this designer who makes bags. Her name is Ribbon Street. She's out of Santa Cruz, California, and she makes the best. She has the greatest fabrics.
That's a great bag.
I love this bag. It's like a good for small things. All right, so that's my stitch. I have one more thing that was to stitch it, and it's a crochet blanket, and I had decided I was going to work 7 days on that blanket. I should have put that on my WIPGO board, Anna. The crochet blanket for 7 days.
Well, so we'll see.
Next year. No, I'm going to get it done before we do our next Stitch It or Ditch It.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Okay. So.
Would you like a little pillow?
Thank you. I'm really excited about that pillow. Plus, it's fun to find something in your closet and you're like, what am I going to do with this? Take the cover. And I'm like, oh, it's going to fit perfectly.
That is a fun find. Yeah. All right. Are we a thumbs up?
We're a thumbs up.
Okay. First thumbs up. Ripe mango. Oh my goodness, I cut into some mangoes a couple of days ago. Just so flavorful, perfect consistency.
Good.
Second thing, any sort of cool, warm combo. When James and I were first married, we had a little sports car. And in the winter or in the fall, to have the top down and the heat on in the car was we just thought it was the best thing ever.
I didn't know this about you. Okay, so what have you been experiencing recently that's been hot, cold?
Just the screen door open as we're sleeping.
Yeah.
And lots of covers or electric blanket. We just took our electric blanket
You
off.
would like camping.
Yeah. As long as I'm not cold. So I have to be warm enough. I love that feeling of both things.
Okay. So like you can feel the cold, like maybe fresh air on your face, but your body is warm.
Yeah. So maybe even like a hot summer day with a ceiling fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things in that category I'm really enjoying. And then my last thing is, I call them cloud blankets. My husband calls them cloud pillows. We have some hills near us. If you go over the hills, you get to the ocean. And sometimes even on a sunny day, they're literally on top of those hills, this white layer of clouds.
Or sometimes it like sneaks over the top.
I was going to say, yeah, that's like, if this is the hill, it's just like a layer like this. It is the most beautiful thing. Every time I see it, it's just...
Yeah. Between now and then, if you can get a picture.
I tried to today on the highway.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what was there a cloud blanket today? And where we are, it might be like sunny like this, but then if you went over the hill to the beach, it would be completely socked in, fogged in. Good.
So, what about you?
All right, so I did my thumbs up just spur of the moment. I was thinking about, okay, I've been playing a lot with my just turned 3-year-old. I just want to share some of the things that I really enjoy playing with her. One is the game that she calls pickleball. She loves watching people play pickleball when we go to the park. So we've set up on the rug. We got golf balls out and cooking, like big cooking spoons.
Do you mean like wiffle ball golf balls?
No, real golf balls.
Okay.
Real golf ball. And we both sit on the rug and we use the spoon and we just hitting golf balls back and forth to each other. And lots of funny things happen. That's what she calls a pickleball. She loves it. We have so much fun. It's actually really fun because sometimes we'll get like 3 golf balls going, and she's gotten good now. Like we can hit it back and forth, and if they go into the TV, she's got to like fish it out with her spoon. So we've had a lot of fun with that. The other thing we've been doing, and this is when the other older one was over and she's almost 3, we have an indoor-outdoor house, and we have this running chasing loop that ends up on our bed, which is really low to the ground, and they jump on the bed and I'm chasing them, and it's just a lot of action. That's a thumbs up. I love that.
Wait, so they go out into
the patio, back to the house, and then end up in our bedroom, and then there's that 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed song. We have lots of variations on that. Just a lot of shenanigans, and it's really fun. And then the third thing is Em and I have been playing this game around library books. And I think this is really typical of this age, where we do have a lot of library. We took her to the library on the first day, and we have other books. But we take these books and we put them in... We each have them in these packing bags, which then go into reusable grocery bags. Okay, we do that. We move it into another room of the house. We unpack them because we're home. But then we pack them back up because we have to return them to the library. So we walk back into the living room. We unpack them for the library. And then we check them out. And so it's essentially packing up books, moving to another place, unpacking them, packing up. But I want to tell you, it's fun. And just
I would do that any day.
Just watching Em, because we both I have more of the bigger book. She has both our bags are really heavy.
She's working really hard, I'm sure.
Watching her negotiate, because they're in those little packing bags with the zippers around them, so that she puts them in the packing and she zips them up. Then she gets to get it into the reusable shopping.
Packing bags, you mean like, what are those called? Those, not pods.
They're cubes, like packing cubes.
I thought you meant like reusable grocery bags.
I had gotten some free ones at the Gap. It was like around Mother's Day, and they're like, "Here, you want this?" It's like 3 of them, and we just had them out, and so we get zipped up. But then she's got to get this whole thing into the reusable, like Trader Joe's shopping bag.
I got you.
And then she can't carry it. She's like pulling it along. That's far more than you want to hear, but sometimes it's just good to be a 3-year-old at heart, and whatever the 3-year-olds want to do. If you go along with them, it's a thumbs up.
Tell me what to do. Who should I be?
That's right.
What should I do?
Or one thing I'll often say is, I'll follow you. Like if I can't quite tell, like, where exactly are we going with these books? What are we doing here? Right. Oh, I'll follow you. You show me. And we'll do it. So
she's doing her developmental homework.
Yeah, I think my son said that is a big thing for this age, is like putting things, like organizing and putting in things in places and then taking them out. Whatever. It's fun.
It sounds fun. Maybe I'll get a chance to play one day.
Yeah. Until next time.
Happy crafting.
And stay curious. Bye, everybody.
See ya.